Welcome to a new edition of the N1 Podcast, N1 with EJ Podcast. I'm your host, Ernest EJ Christian, coming to you late Tuesday night here. Here watching the Lakers and Grizzlies. This third quarter started. The Lakers are up. Actually, it's a tie game now. Third quarter started. As always, we go 10, 15, 20 minutes a week on this feed, part of the Huddle LLC, Huddle Podcast Network. Again, shout out to Big Jim James Nees for doing the damn thing. So, as always, I bring my 5 observations, 5 takes, what do you call it? It's takes, not observations. It's takes and thoughts and ideas right through my head concerning the NBA season. Again, check out all the shows on this network feed also, too, especially 5 by Mikey B, The Pitch, to start out with Matt. Of course, 5 observations with Big Jim, and the Huddle Up Podcast, which obviously now we're in the off season now. We'll be back to getting some episodes in the can very soon. I think next month is going to start recording our first of several off season installments here. Hopefully I'll be back to being able to podcast on a regular basis as I continue to recover from my neck injury, which is going well. It's going well. So again, thanks guys for all your thoughts and prayers and understanding. So let's get to the first take to touch on here. First thing on my mind here is obviously the big news right now in the league is that LeBron James, who I call the second greatest player of all time, is out indefinitely. Be out for a few weeks, possibly a season. Who knows? That's a big blow for the Lakers as they're figuring things out. The big win in Dallas this past Sunday. This Laker team now with the trades post Russell Westbrook and whatnot, and you're bringing D'Angelo Russell, who's out himself too for a little bit, but also bringing in Jared Vanderbilt and bringing in, a couple of the pieces there. This looks like a well-rounded playoff team. That if this team didn't start slow, I would say it was a definitive top 6 team in the Western Conference. And there's a lot of talk about the Lakers trying to get to that 6th seed. Obviously, now with LeBron being gone, I mean that ship probably has sailed now, I guess. They might be done. I don't know. The West is kind of weird, especially from 7 down, 6 down. Really, to be honest, Dallas is struggling even with the Kyrie, Luka combo. They haven't, they're at 500. But I don't know if the Lakers are necessarily done in the same way. Now, yes, I will agree that definitely the 6th seed, which I already doubted, even LeBron being healthy, was a long shot. By virtue of the what they had to do to get there, was a long shot, and but I do think with a lot of volatility going on in the Western Conference, I still think and it's obviously a big if now because Anthony Davis now is the big key. If AD can someone stay healthy, these next 20 games left of the schedule. And if the Lakers can go 500 at no worse than 500, maybe LeBron comes back end of the year. Maybe they get to the 9 or 10 seed. Maybe they get to the 8 seed. Maybe get that one game play in, the 2 game option maybe in there. I wouldn't call the Lakers done just yet. I want to see this team with AD leading the way. Russell gets back hopefully for them. And then let's see if this team can gel and put it all together. Because the West is very volatile right now, especially in the bottom. So I'm not ready to kill the Lakers in terms of getting to the play-in. Now they done in terms of the 6th seed. I think that's probably a little bit better conversation. Probably pretty much assumed that most likely they're not going to get that 6th seed. But we'll see. Like I said, these next 5 weeks will be very, very, very telling. All right. Second take on my mind here is, the Philadelphia 76ers here. They are a really good team. I would say borderline great, I would say. But I am not ready to make them a finals contender just yet. I'm not. And after Saturday's loss to Boston especially, is why I can't because they have not figured out how to beat the Celtics. They have a Boston Celtics problem, and if they're going to be considered real finals contenders, you better find a way to beat Boston, and they can't. And I believe they're 0-3 this year against the Celtics in a matchup for the season. Yeah, until you can beat the Celtics, then we can't have that conversation. And in that case, if they can't get at least the conference finals, which is why I say, what makes you a conference final, a finals contender is at least get to the conference finals. I think this could be the end of the road for Doc Rivers. But yeah, I'm not going to mention the loss last night to Miami, but they have a Boston problem. Until they figure it out, they're not even sniffing the conference finals, let alone NBA finals. Just that simple. Now, number 3, a team that is definitely a finals contender is the Milwaukee Bucks. And in fact, I'll go so further. I think right now, as we sit here on February 28th rather. Wow, March is tomorrow. Unbelievable. And in fact, that's probably come out in March anyway. The Milwaukee Bucks right now, in my opinion, are the best team in basketball. Not just in the East. When healthy, Chris Middleton's healthy. He's starting to figure it out. Drew Holiday's balling. Giannis missed a couple of games, but they're still balling. They're now on a 14-game winning streak. Granted, the streak a little bit with context, a little bit suspect because a lot of games there with stars out, but you do your job. But Milwaukee, to me, right now, is the team I have the most confidence in to win a championship right this second. Obviously, you're going to say, what about Phoenix Suns and Kevin Durant? We got to see that. We'll look at that in a second. We still got to see how Durant folds in that for how he does that first, how he fits in with the team. But in terms of the Bucks, I'm very confident in their ability. And of course Giannis, is the best player in basketball right now, and he's having a phenomenal year. Probably MVP, definitely a candidate. And I know how good Boston is this year, but all of a sudden Milwaukee had been healthy all year long, and somehow, some way, are still right now, as recording, the 1 seed in the East right now. It's incredible. They have been one of the most statement teams to the health, whether it's Giannis, whether it's Chris Middleton, and somehow, some way, they are still currently the 1 seed in the East. And that's a tribute to great coaching. It's a tribute to a good culture. Giannis, they're just doing the right things there in Milwaukee. So you got to be very happy with what's happening there in Wisconsin. Plus, they got a new ownership group now too, officially. I believe Jimmy Haslam, who owns the Browns, the Haslam family has taken over as the ownership for the Bucks. So, all right, number 4. Take number 4. The New York Knickerbockers are dangerous as all hell. The Knicks right now are currently the 5 seed down in the East. Check it out real quick, make sure. But I think they're the 5 seed in the East currently. I think they surpassed Brooklyn, who is now falling in the rankings now, especially down with the fact that Kevin Durant is no longer there, and neither is Kyrie Irving. Yeah, the Knicks right now are the 7 seed. They've won 6 in a row, one of the hottest teams in the league. Now, I'm going to warn Knicks fans here real quick. Don't get ahead of yourselves. You guys did this thing 2 years ago, and what happened? You guys fell apart. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't start throwing out your Knicks tape. Oh, Knicks tape is back, and da-da-da-da-da. Don't start your shit. Be humble. Enjoy the ride. Be humble. Okay? I don't know. I still don't think they got out of the first round. Because I don't think any of the 4 teams on top of the East they can beat in the first round matchup. Obviously the best chance you have is playing Cleveland, obviously. And I would probably still take Cleveland at least in 6 games in that series. But they are dangerous, man, and they're fun to watch, and they're frisky, and they're scrappy. It's a typical Tom Thibodeau team, and no real stars. You got Jalen Brunson, who probably should be most player of the year, maybe comeback player of the year. I don't know. He's definitely is a fantastic signing thus far for the Knicks in Jalen Brunson, and the value of that too. What was it, 5 years or 4 years, $104 billion? That's all it was. They're getting max value for this guy right now, currently. But let's not get ahead of ourselves and start calling them like, oh, they're going to win the championship and we win the East. Let's relax. Knicks fans, enjoy the ride. But they are dangerous. They are definitely dangerous. All right, and finally, before we get out of here, last take of the show. Tomorrow, we expect, or today, when this podcast drops, Wednesday night, March 1st, Kevin Durant is expected to make his debut with the Phoenix Suns. I will be definitely locked in that game when it starts. And I'm really curious to see how he gels in there. A lot of assumptions that he will, he should be able to fit with ease. My only concern, I said in the last episode, N1. My only question is that how long will it take for this team to gel between now and the playoffs? Remember, this is a mid-season trade. I don't even say mid-season. We're close to the end of the year. We're 5 weeks away from the playoffs. This is what I call the pennant time of basketball. So I want to see how KD fits in. Can he stay healthy? Can Chris Paul stay healthy? Devin Booker is back. I want to see how this team fits in. And, this, again, the assumption is this team will be the favorites to win, at least to win the West. Probably the title. I'm not going there yet. They should be on paper. But who knows? Again, their bench was gutted a little bit too because of this trade. But we'll see. We shall see. Like I said, it's going to be a fun 5 weeks. A lot of narratives, a lot of different narratives, and a lot of different storylines. And the parity in NBA this year is so great. So looking forward to seeing Durant's debut with Phoenix tomorrow night or tonight when we listen to this podcast with the Suns. So anyway, that will do for this episode of Animal EJ. Again, I am on Twitter at EJChristian7. That's see another alley-oop to Anthony Davis. He's got to stay healthy. Like I said, I'll be keeping you guys updated when we'll be back regularly to my to the Huddle podcast show when we start doing our off-season shows. I'm hoping to get back in a few weeks. Other than that, you can check out my work, of course, on my main podcast, my baby, the Ernest Speaking Podcast, across all podcast catchers, and my YouTube page at youtube.com/@ErnestChristian. Talk to you guys later. God bless y'all, and until next week, we'll just talk to you.